How sweet it is here on Smooth 105 1.1 on this sweet Saturday morning. How sweet it is to be loved by you nerds. What is up? It's me, your buddy pal HeyArcher. Welcome back to HeyArcher Live here on Nerd Affiliated. Yeah, I'm stoked to do a Saturday morning show. I almost did it yesterday, and I was like, you know what? Lady and I went out, got some food, some shopping, and I was like, you know what? We're just gonna do it Saturday morning instead. So this is your Saturday morning nerdy talk show where we're gonna sit back, relax. No, I'll hit the button just in case. But hopefully by now you poured yourself a little bit
more specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Oh man. But actually we're having some brew. We're doing some hot brew today. And much to my surprise, the sun is actually out today. So shout out to the sun. If you have a YouTube channel, a podcast, blog, OnlyFans, newsletter, smoke signals, whatever it may be, put it in the chat, support one another, plug yo shit. I feel like I'm missing my old man back pillow right now. I want to be comfy. Gotta be comfy on these Saturday morning streams. We have some news to talk about. I have to do a reaction to my own video, apparently. And I'm seeing Sinners today. I'm seeing Sinners at noon. So we'll look at the box office, see how it's been doing. And, of course, talk about whatever it is you guys want to talk about. Roman Reigns heel turn. Star Wars Theory dropped the trailer. But without further ado, we'll bring in the man, the myth, the legend. It is me. It is me. I'm the problem. It's me. It's so good. Coffee's God's gift, man. It is God's gift. So happy to have you guys here with me today. As I mentioned, Saturday morning stream. Maybe I'll go live more often on Saturdays. I think Sundays will be the day off unless I can't do Saturday and I can do Sunday. Because remember, I was planning on doing Tuesday through Friday, but I feel like a morning stream on like a Saturday kind of feels right. However, once summer rolls around, you know, doing trips and long weekends, that's where it'll be kind of tough. But we'll see. We'll keep working our way through this. It's an experiment. I was determined to also try TikTok Live today while we're doing the stream, but I didn't bother set it up. So maybe we'll do that for next week. We'll say hi to everybody in the chat. Tony in the house. Good to see you. No worries. Yeah, sorry I'm late. It was I do a pour over coffee. So that took some time, and then last minute I was like, oh, I should throw some clothes in the laundry because, you know, adulting. So I did that. What is hanging from the back here? Oh, it's like a piece of the headphones. These headphones are old. They are old. Ultra Carter in the house, good to see you. Patrick in the house, good to see you. The nerdy coffee version of HeyArcher, yeah, exactly. What roast am I drinking? It's just a this is a medium Starbucks roast. Starbucks, the last like week, like their bags have been on sale. So picked up a couple bags at like $6. So I got a medium roast. I'm a dark roast kind of guy, but the missus likes medium and light roast. And I think it's fun to just mix it up sometimes. So normally I'm getting a dark roast of some brand. I'm not brand loyal when it comes to coffee. It's really best price and convenience. Only exceptions are you'll never see me buy Folgers. It will never happen. I used to do it. I used to do it back in the day before I knew any better. You'll never see me buying Folgers or what's the blue one? Like Columbia or something? I forget the blue label, but yeah. I've also there's a coffee shop up the street and I actually enjoyed the coffee they had. I bought a bag of theirs. I did it for the sake of like supporting them because they're a small business. But I mean, that bag of coffee was like 4 times the price, or I should say more. No, it was like double. Oh, excuse me. It was like double the price of buying something at a supermarket. So, um, depending on the brand, it was 3 times the price of this because this was on sale. But uh, I I liked it. I might go back. When I go back, I go back like every weekend or every other weekend just to like get coffee, get a sandwich. Again, just to kind of like support them. But sometimes it's just not convenient and it's not cost effective to do that, which sucks. That's the day and age that we're in. That you want to support small businesses, you want to support even smaller creators when it comes to like, oh, I want to buy your merch or do whatever, but like sometimes it's not the most cost effective option, and they've made it really hard on the small guy. But that's a conversation for another day. Um, hope either Master Chief, Roman Reigns, or CM Punk win the triple threat, as I don't want Seth Rollins to win. I don't want Roman to win anything anymore. I'll talk about that later. It's all about dark roast. It is. It is. Anybody having USPS problems because they were supposed to ship my Elite 94 Edge with my Elite 92 heel flare? Supposed to be on Thursday, but no Edge. Yeah, I haven't had any issues, but I haven't ordered a lot. I've really scaled back stuff, so couldn't tell you. Of course, Nerd Affiliated on Instagram, Nerd Affiliated on the website, nerdaffiliated.com. So if you want to hit up links to anything, you of course can visit us that way. I gotta figure out another way to do promo. All right, so we have a couple things to talk about before we I'm saying like before we wrap, as though the show's almost done. Sorry, it's taking me a while to like get going right now. But I wanted to react to a video I posted yesterday. It was a clip from Thursday's show, and I've been getting some hate on it. So I want to watch it together, and we will discuss. We will discuss. I'll elaborate. Maybe I don't even have to. We'll see. He's like just smart, and he doesn't have like cool tech like Iron Man, or he just doesn't have cool gear like Batman. But I think it's just like he's just a boring guy. Like Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark, they're interesting people. Like that's part of who they are. But Reed Richards is just like, oh man, it's so hard to be so smart. Like I don't know what to do. Like that's to me that's like public perception, and maybe Pedro Pascal will change that. Who knows? But I feel like even in the trailer, when you do watch it, it's gonna be classic. Oh man, I was smart, but I wasn't smart enough. Like that's gonna be the whole thing of the movie. Is he just too boring of a character because he's like just smart and he doesn't have? So Thursday we reacted to the Fantastic Four trailer. Not that we watched the trailer, but we talked about it after have previously watched it, and I had that take. That I think Reed Richards is boring. I think the Fantastic Four are boring. That's my take. And I dropped a clip here, and people were like, read not just on Instagram, like across all the platforms, YouTube, TikTok, read a comic book. Oh, he does so much cool things in the comic books. Like, what are you talking about? Like, somebody finally brought up Council of Reeds in one of the comments. L take, all sorts of stuff. Just to elaborate on the fact that Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four are boring. History tells us they're boring. Like, society tells us they're boring. Nobody, like, find a casual person in the street and be like, who's Reed Richards? Like, if they watch Marvel stuff, who's Reed Richards? If they claim to be a comic book fan who, like, oh, I used to read them back in the day when whatever sibling had them. Like, what's the thing's real name? Give me a story with the Fantastic Four. Give me a villain of the Fantastic Four outside of Doctor Doom. Like, yes, hardcore comic book fans will know some of these details. Hardcore comic book fans do not make up most of the fan base of Marvel, Disney, MCU, or any of that stuff. People generally don't give a shit about anything outside of the MCU, TV, and cartoons. I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to all of you. Like, them's the breaks. Them's are the breaks. Yes, Reed Richards has done cool things and he's super smart and he has a council of Reeds and all the things we talked about on Thursday. Reed Richards has always been a boring character. And if he wasn't boring, we wouldn't be on our 4th iteration of him in live action. They would have figured it out. Because don't forget, there was a live action version back in like the 70s. It was like a TV pilot or something. It didn't even make it to, it didn't make it out of the pilot phase. We had the cartoon. Remember the cartoon came out the same time as Iron Man? And don't get me wrong, it's not like Iron Man killed it at that point either. Iron Man didn't start killing it until Robert Downey Jr., which was a play off the story. Was it Man in the Bottle or Bottom of the Bottle or something like that? That storyline. Just call the four. Ba-na-na-na-na. Fantastic Four. Reed Richards is elastic. Think or Sue can get out of sight. Johnny is the Human Torch. The Thing just loves to fight. Of the four, boring ass four. So we'll see. I'm more than happy to be wrong when this movie comes out. This movie's awesome. I am more than fine. I won't lose any sleep. Like, oh my god, I had such an L take to the Fantastic Four are boring. But newsflash, they're boring. They just are. You did a freaking movie with Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan and couldn't make it good. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's crazy. I actually want to, we're going to go to the Excel sheet. You knew it was coming. And I knew it was going to make me sign in again. That's why I switched screens. I just felt it. I felt it in my bones. All right, we're going to go. Did I ever? I did. Okay. 1, 2. Oh, well, the new one's not out, obviously. So that's why it's not on here. Here you go. So we've had 3 movies already. 4th one's coming out. And the first one, of course, did well. We were all fiending for freaking superhero stuff at that point. That was 2005. So by then standards, it had a decent open with the 56 million. Second one opened up at 58 million. The second one, once it opened up and people realized it wasn't that great, it didn't really continue on a good track. They also increased the budget, which is what, hurt that profit margin there. Then we got that third movie in 2015 that just looked like ass, and then it came out and it was ass. So we can argue that maybe it was the fact that Fox did these 3 movies. Maybe we could debate that. I'm going to go over here. But you're still telling me if we see that argument of Fox was a problem, they still gave us X-Men, X2, so unfortunately Elektra. Okay, so they started to slide. All right, I'll eat that one. I'll eat that one. They started to slide after X2, Fox. So I'll take that. I'll take that L. But they're just boring, man. They are boring. And I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I will take that. I will take that. But there's no way that anybody can tell me the Fantastic Four are not boring. It's like telling me Ant-Man's not a boring character either. And Ant-Man did decent in the theaters. People saw it because they're like, oh, maybe it's tied to Avengers. Boring. There are. It's okay to just have boring characters out there. I personally think the Fantastic Four should remain secondary characters to things until they start to get some traction. And really, the only traction I think the Fantastic Four ever get the only traction they ever get is when Reed does some like ambiguously bad things. Then people are like, they pay attention. In my opinion. They're just like they're too I don't know, is all American like the proper phrasing? Like they're too like clean, they're too like goody, like they're too proper. I can't think of the right like they're just like a rich family. They're like a rich, proper, we help people family. And not like a cool way, like in a lame way. Like they're like that. The Fantastic Four is like that family that goes to church down the street that are just like cherry pies in the window, like, hey neighbor, like you're just like, shut up. You're just like, it's just like stale. That's the Fantastic Four. Until they find a way to make them cool. And with Fantastic Four, it might have to be a bunch of gender swaps. It might have to be I don't know. They got to do some cool shit with the Fantastic Four. They just have to. You know what it is? It's like, imagine if you had like Captain America, right? Like let's say you had Captain America in the Avengers, but every character was like Captain America. Every character was like goody two shoes, always make the right decision, always like just chaotic good. Like it's boring. You need people that are different in the group and so different at times that it can even like question our decisions like correct or not correct, or like, you know, are you good or not good? Like imagine the Ninja Turtles and all their personalities were Leonardo. That would suck. That would absolutely suck. That's what the Fantastic Four are. The Fantastic Four are Ninja Turtles if everybody was Leonardo. Then they try to make Ben Grimm like, oh, I'm sad and I'm tough, but he's boring. Johnny Storm's trying to be all like cool ladies man. They're taking. He's not even going to be a ladies man in this movie. I don't know if you guys saw that. They were like, oh, we're changing his personality because he was too much of a almost like I guess male chauvinist, but I mean not really. He just liked the ladies, and they're like, now I feel like I'm one of those people that's like, oh, they're going woke or broke. They're taking that part of his personality away. So now he's gonna be even more boring. Like it's just imagine the Ninja Turtles all personalities Leonardo is what the Fantastic Four are. It's yeah. And I'm happy to be wrong. I am happy to be wrong. But nobody has ever cared about Fantastic Four outside of hardcore comic book nerds. And I say that respectfully as a nerd, because I mean, the same rule applies. Like, as much as I yell at people to watch Star Wars Clone Wars, most people don't give a shit about Star Wars Clone Wars outside of hardcore Star Wars nerds. And I'm one of them. No matter what I say, and no matter how many times I tell people you're missing out on awesome Star Wars, you need to watch the Clone Wars, until I'm red in the face, people do not give a shit about Star Wars Clone Wars. And that's not saying it's bad. They're just things that people just won't ever care about. And with Fantastic Four, I feel like the argument is always, you got to read the comic books. People don't care. Comic books are dying. I hate to tell you guys that I mean, I feel like that's pretty common knowledge at this point. Like, we're all in denial at times about it, but comic books are dying. They're a way to flesh out characters, flesh out stories, get a pulse check for a storyline. There are ways to do that in a cost-effective manner. That's why they exist. But they're dying. They're dying. It's hard as F. Hard as F to get a comic book off the ground that does not involve a legacy character doing something. It's the end of the world. Like DC and Marvel talking about a crossover isn't happening because they're killing it and they're like, oh, let's eat together. No, that's not how that works. This is business. We need to get some more eyes on some comic books. Let's do this. That's what that is. That's what that is. You don't see comic book store owners driving around in like Maseratis and Ferraris, Beamers. You don't see that for a reason. I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to you. I respect the comic book game. I do. Comic books are all we had for a long time. They comic books, without them, we wouldn't have any of this stuff we're talking about. It needed to be a medium, or median, or however you say it. Comic books needed to exist to get us to where we are, to flesh out characters, like I said, to introduce new characters, to give us framework for stories that, even Disney MCU doesn't care about framework anymore. They just do whatever they want. Like, you needed comic books to do this. But just like freaking theaters, it's a dying thing. And in a sense, is it okay? No, I wish it wasn't. But we have to move forward. We just have to move forward. I love the fact that you love your landline telephone, because you can just unplug it and nobody calls you. But it's hard as F to get a landline telephone for a reason right now, because nobody buys them. It's a dying thing. So, phone books. I'm sorry, man. You had a long career working at the plant making phone books. I know you're really good at making phone books. Nobody buys phone books anymore, dude. We gotta close up shop. Them's the breaks. Sorry. So, let's catch up on the comments here. Let's catch up. Damn it, I missed the argument. Now all I hear is slander. I like Pedro, but he's in too many things. Yeah, he's in too many things. Everywhere I look, he's there, and all I'm seeing is the same character over and over. And no, he's an amazing actor. He's just everywhere. Somebody did a meme about that. I think maybe Legacy of Nerd posted it. Somebody posted a meme, and it's like the part where Silver Surfer shows up, and they're like, "Why are you here?" And she's like, "To stop Pedro Pascal, because he's in everything." Yeah, the intro to that show, it slapped. It was a great intro. I've said the story like probably a long ass time ago. So as a kid, a lot of I grew up in a super religious household, church every Sunday, a lot of times on Fridays, and love, I used to love when on a Sunday, my mom woke up and was like, "We're not going to church today." It was like I lived for that. because I thought Sunday had awesome cartoons that just weren't as like popular as the Saturday ones. Sunday mornings you had Fantastic Four, you had Iron Man, you had Wildcats, you had Ultra Force, you had Savage Dragon, like the USA stuff. Um, I'm probably forgetting a couple others that were exclusive to Sunday, but I thought Sunday mornings had some great cartoons. They all were like 1 season, 2 season type shows, and they were on repeat forever. But man, I miss a good Sunday morning cartoon. They just weren't as good as a Saturday morning, but they had their own charm, and they were different. They were different. They weren't legacy stuff. Fantastic Four do better as a series because they are a research team. Once they get off planet, they have more invested stories. See why I don't watch trailers, lol. I got nothing to go off other than being a Marvel fan. Trailers are there to sell people on investing their time, and I was already a shareholder. That's a really good take. I like that. I like that. You don't see any indie retail store owners driving in those. Yeah, it's true. Morning nerd, good to see you. I have the same problem with Scarlett Johansson. She's everywhere. My thing moved. She's everywhere and just essentially playing the same character over and over again. Yeah, I agree. Sunday morning, we're all about American Gladiators. That was another one. Yeah, I remember. I think it was Saturday. So you had this. So prime time, you're like a top tier show was like Saturday morning between, I'm gonna say like 9 a.m., which was usually not your strongest open, but it was like 9 a.m. to noon. Like 9 a.m. to noon, if you were in that block, you were good. 10 was like 10 a.m. was always a GOAT show. 10 a.m. they put, Spider-Man, and then they had to switch out for X-Men. You had Sonic on ABC at the 10 a.m. slot. Like 10 a.m. was like the money. Power Rangers. 10 a.m. was the perfect spot to put a show. And then you knew your show was on the rocks when it got moved to like 8 a.m. The 8 to 9 was like you're on a written warning. That was that time slot. Like when Spider-Man got to that time slot, I was like, ooh, we're running out. And sure enough, we did. When X-Men had that crappy animation when they moved to that Canadian company, that was in the 8 to 9 slot. But equally, afternoon is when you had the more like live action. Actually, I feel like it was after 11. Like after 11 on like NBC, that's when they would play like Saved by the Bell. They would play California Dreams. But then noon to like 2 was a lot of like live action, like syndicated shows, like American Gladiators. They started a WWF Saturday morning. You had WCW Saturday morning at one point. And then they moved to WCW Saturday night. But at one point they had a morning show. I'm pretty sure. But yeah. Oh, WMAC Masters. WMAC Masters was like a noon or like 1 p.m. show. Even though it was great. If you guys remember WMAC Masters. I think what else was like a noon. Hoop Dreams, Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Those were all after the cartoon slots. The good old days. The good old days. But yeah, Pedro's and everything. I think Pedro has more range at times than like a Scarlet or a Rock. Rock has like no range whatsoever. But so yeah, that's my rant. I'm sticking to it. I will not be talked or convinced otherwise until I see it and it's good. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Going into other news, I'm just gonna knock this one out. I just have to. So Roman Reigns, in potentially one of the best promos ever, announced to, was it Vogue? Vanity Fair, that he's now officially, or he is officially, a Trump supporter. And it's funny seeing the comments. Because some people are all about it. Some people are like, I can't believe it. It's nobody's really like in the middle. Maybe there's like one or two people, but not a lot of people are just like in the middle when it comes to this one. And I want to state my case. I want to state my case on this one. I'm also trying to be really, really respectful with this one. So there's the argument that we as a society have to get back to separating our celebrities and people that we know from politics. That's kind of like that's becoming a public cry. Like, we need to really start separating the two. And I hear that argument. And I missed when that used to be a thing. I feel like my camera's like blurry or something. Anyway, I missed when that was the thing, when we could separate the two and just kind of go about our lives. I feel like we are in a moment in time where you really cannot do that in the way that you'd want to. You cannot. Some people are like, oh, I didn't vote for the person, I voted for the party. I voted for who else would be involved. That's even worse with what's going on right now in the world. It's even worse. And Tony says, yeah, I agree. Keep it private. Keeping it private is the move to make as a celebrity, it seems. I would almost rather them just not say it than to say it. But it's worse now because of what's happening outside of even just the one man. I don't know how many of you know this, but Roman had his own stint with like cancer. It knocked him out of wrestling for quite a while. The WWE, they pride themselves on, we do Make-A-Wish all the time. John Cena has the most record. He has the highest amount of Make-A-Wish wishes ever. We donate to this charity. We donate to that charity. We're all about the kids. They do all that stuff. They freaking, with a flag, we are about the kids. We love the kids. But then you're supporting an administration that not only is destroying and getting rid of the Department of Education, they put somebody in RFK in position that is literally having kids die of measles right now because vaccines to him are sus, and getting rid of people in place, or getting rid of people that were working on things like cancer research. They view that stuff as like, I don't know about this whole like curing cancer with medicine thing. So I'm just gonna let you go, and we'll figure it out later. Like, that's what's actively happening right now. You can look it up. This isn't one of those scenarios of like, oh, I'm just speaking like hypotheticals or a what if thing. Like, those are things like actually happening. So to me, these people like Roman Reigns, now that he's a millionaire, right, feels like, oh, like, no, I believe in the man. I trust the man. But like, the man is like effing your audience so hard. Like, people and parents spend so much money taking their kids to see wrestling. And for some kids, especially some kids that may have various special needs, like wrestling is their shit. Wrestling is their shit. My wife works with kids with special needs. A lot of you probably know kids with special needs, various ones that just love wrestling. They just love wrestling. And to know that like a lot of these kids are currently losing services, losing free shit at the library because they're closing libraries. Again, you can look it up. I'm not like, oh, he will close libraries. Like they are closing libraries. Like the fact that all these things are happening that are affecting people that they love, but they refuse to see it. It's mind blowing. It is mind blowing. I'm actually hoping that this is like a stunt to get more eyes on WrestleMania. I kind of am. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not. Because obviously, I think we can all assume Triple H is a fan. Stephanie McMahon's a fan. Because God, what's the mom's name? I forget. She's the one getting rid of the Department of Ed right now. So it's almost like showing true colors, personally. Because there's the other thing too. They love to say the Department of Ed is a waste, right? They love to say it's a waste, while all of these people have their kids in like private education. Linda, thank you. So again, changes that they're doing, eliminating things that they think are fraud and waste, don't even affect them. It never will. But it's affecting that single mom that has their kid in programs, or the single dad that has their kid in programs, or those parents that have to live in an expensive city because they can't afford to move, that take advantage of free things and free programs in schools. They're getting rid of all that stuff, and it never affects them. So I'm not even talking about other policies. I'm not talking about other things they're doing. Strictly from the perspective of kids being a major driving factor in the success of WWE, to me, this is like a wild ass take. It is a wild ass take. And when people are like, oh, you just can't separate the two. You can't. Sorry, you really can't. You can't. You can't. You can't. We are past that point now. We're no longer talking hypotheticals. We're no longer talking whatever. This is, if this holds to be true, all we're seeing is a rich millionaire being like, I like the fact that other rich millionaires are running the country. I trust them. Yeah, sure. It does not affect him. It doesn't affect him. But I'm thinking about all those kids that stand on stage with John Cena. I'm thinking of all those kids. They always bring that one kid, not the same kid. Like they bring a kid every year. Like, oh, we're doing the WrestleMania Dream, and they go in the ring, they do whatever. You know, that kid who him and his family spend more time at a freaking hospital doing cancer treatments. I'm thinking about that kid losing shit because of people like who's in office now. But they're like, no, we support the kid. We're helping your dream come true. Sorry you lost all your freaking free bus rides to school that we were doing, because I think that's kind of fraud. Like, why should you get a free bus ride to school? That seems kind of crazy. Why should you have a free program at the library on taxpayer dollars? How many people use the library anyway? You don't need that. Just stay home and watch wrestling and watch Bluey. Don't go to the library and read a book or learn how to do some other shit at the library for free. I don't know. I don't have kids. I don't go to the library that often with kids. I can tell you what I used to do when I used to babysit my little cousin and we used to go to the library. But you guys see what I mean? Like it's not. We're past that. We're past separating the two. If you rock with them, even though they're effing everybody, including the kids, then I just can't rock with you like that. So them's the breaks. That's how I feel. I try not to be political on the show, but I have to be when it's relevant to what we talk about here on the show. Just like the tariff thing. Nothing's changed with the tariff thing. And more brands are coming out being like, hey guys, we wanted to hold out, but it's just not working. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And that's where the world's at. Before we go into Star Wars Theories video, we got this announcement at Celebration yesterday, or I guess 2 days ago at this point. And I don't care because how much news have we received that just never comes to fruition? It always happens. We're doing this show, we're getting this movie, we're getting this person, and nothing happens. So at the moment, when it comes to Ryan, who I think Ryan's awesome, I'm gonna wait until we get a trailer to be excited for Ryan. When it comes to the Maul cartoon, the only reason I'm somewhat excited for the Maul cartoon, even though I think we're kind of like, I feel like we've had enough Maul stories at this point. Like we've seen him die, we see him die again. We've seen him in multiple shows. But the only reason I'm like kind of okay with this storyline is Sam Witwer's involved. He's the voice of Maul. And Sam tends to like make sure if something's happening on screen with Maul, it makes sense. That's his MO. So I'm not excited for the show. I'm not like, oh my God, I can't wait till Shadow Lord comes out. But when it comes out, I think maybe I'll be more excited. Maybe after one episode, I'll be like, oh man, this show's great. Like, but at the moment, I'm just, whatever. Patrick said I just read some of that Vanity Fair interview to get the whole context. Did I miss any part of it? Did I get anything wrong with it? Like I said, I still think it's a work. I hope it's a work, but if I got any of that wrong, you can let me know. All right. So Star Wars Theory, as you guys know, has the Vader fan film series. And when I feel like I became a bigger fan of Theory when the first one came out. Yeah, I would always watch the shows, but seeing him launch the first one, seeing him battle with Disney over it, it really like became an us versus them. Actually, you're kind of going back to that conversation. It became an us versus them moment in the Star Wars community, which I think for the time was good. Now, Theory has had its ups and downs. People accuse him of various things. Some of those things I don't necessarily disagree with, but you hang around with enough assholes, I have a hard time believing you may not be an asshole. So, no matter how you feel about it, he does put a lot of passion into these fan films. So he's lost a lot of money on these. He's talked about it on his channel, but he just dropped a teaser trailer to episode 2 of the Vader fan film. I believe we saw a teaser before where he like the stormtroopers go into like a hole in the ground and then you see like the purple lightsaber light up. I feel like that was a teaser that came out before, but apparently there's a new teaser. This is coming out in fall 2025. So let's check it out. I think he also said allegedly he's not going to copyright strike people for reacting to this. So let's see if we get copyright strike. A copyright strike. He's going animated now? The first one wasn't animated, right? The first one was live action. I think that's a smart move. Honestly, I think an animated Star Wars fan film with Vader, I think that's actually a smart move. I'm not gonna lie. This was probably the only thing I was just like, So with Vader, it's kind of like understood that Sidious gave him like the worst tech ever in the suit as like punishment. Uncomfortable, it hurt him, caused him pain, wasn't easy to move around in. So, and that's why he gets into like that bath the tank type thing a lot, because those are his only moments where he like, you know, can feel at ease. But seeing him do like a superhero landing like this, I'm like, cool. It's still cool, right? Seeing Vader do stuff like this, seeing Vader be athletic and agile is cool. But I'm just like, I feel like him being more rigid and whatever is kind of more on brand. That's just a nitpick. Otherwise, yeah, it looks fine. It looks fine. I can't wait to see it. I still don't know why Disney doesn't make as. I mean, maybe they'll get better now. You know, maybe with like that mall show and other shows coming out, but I feel like the fans and old school stuff tends to be more exciting to look at than the new things. But yeah, good for him. He has to make it a nonprofit in order to legally be able to do this. If you guys remember the first time he did the first movie. So going back to previous discussions, if you want to support him, Theory Sabers, pick up a lightsaber. Join the channel memberships, Patreon, all that stuff. So yeah. That was cool. Yeah, it's fine. There's an argument that's been had where, and I'll get the comments. There's an argument that's been had about, I thought all the Jedi were dead, and yet it seems like every time we turn around, between Revenge of the Sith and like we'll say Return of the Jedi, between in that time period, there's always a new Jedi. There's always more Jedi. I'm willing to see that. I'm willing to say it's a moot point to say they should all be dead, because the galaxy's so vast. There's no way that every single Jedi was killed during Order 66. Yoda said there was only 2 left, but Yoda also apparently caused this whole thing to happen anyway. It's all Yoda's fault. So I don't know. I'm kind of fine with it. I'm just ready. I'm really ready for non-Skywalker stories at this point. I've seen Vader do cool things and fight everybody and rematch Obi-Wan. So yeah. All right, getting to comments here. So Patrick went to the article and said, or your thought, it was a leading question to get Roman's political view, and Roman gave the comment, "We looked weak. We need to look stronger" sentiment that was promoted the last few years. I don't like when people say that as an argument. Not you, Patrick. I'm speaking to that point. because nobody ever says that with actual like evidence. And I should say evidence to prove that we were somehow being taken advantage of or like we were weak. Like it's a very like Joe Rogan thing to say. Society was in shambles. We were um everybody was gay. Like I don't know, like there's all these things where they leading up to the last election, it was all about playing into people's emotions, thinking that we were losing our way. We were weak. The economy sucks. All of it. And it turns out that when you look back at numbers and you look back at things that happened, it wasn't the case. So it's a very, I was watching this other guy. So a friend of mine's friend is actually a big YouTuber. Big in the sense that he has a lot of subscribers, like he has over 1 million subscribers. But actually I'll pull it up right now.
In this video, we're going
How to Beast. So I never heard of this guy, but I know a guy who knows this guy. This guy's apparently from up here in Boston. So I've watched a handful of videos just to be like, oh, let me see what he's about. That's cool. You know him. And he dropped this video a day ago. Do I regret voting for Trump? And it was weird because the reasons he was saying I voted and why I'm still happy for him were very generic. And then the reasons he was like, I don't like what he's doing were very specific. And that tends to be a common thread. Like, I like these things all based on emotion. The economy was terrible. Everybody disrespected us. They're making the frogs gay. Then the things that he didn't like are like my 401k is down. This tariff stuff is going to hurt my business. What's going on in the Middle East is crazy, like specifics. And I just thought that was interesting. I was like, it's weird. And he still, at the end of the day, to spoil his video, he doesn't regret his decision. I think he will at some point. He runs a business. He runs a clothing business. So I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting take, and was very evident that that's generally how that works. And that's how a con man does his thing, right? Like he promises you things and tells you how things are going to be, and then all of a sudden they're not. So they're not. My portfolio misses that week period. Buy the dip. Here's the thing. I have been dollar cost averaging my way through this. We'll talk stocks for a second. And I'm not an expert. And I have very little money in my actual like I play around with stuff fund versus like the 401k I had at my last job. So yes, I've been buying the dip per se. But here's the problem that we're going to have at some point. How long are we going to be in this dip? And will people be able to survive the entire dip that they're able to financially see the rewards of being in the dip? Now we're talking stocks. Now we're going to talk stocks. What's up, Dave? Good to see you. Yeah, we're doing it's not nerdy coffee. It's just HeyArcher Live at an earlier time. I have it saved. Oh, I thought I had it saved. Oh, I do. You're just in time for stock market stuff, Dave. Just in time. So, this is a 6-month look back in the NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ is the tech stocks. Google, Tesla, Apple. That's this. So, looking over the last 6 months, they were pretty steady, right? He won over here. It went up a bit because people believed, oh yeah, he's the business president. Then it starts to fall, and then we get the tariff news, and then boom. Right. So right now, yes, buying the dip was great. What he did with that tweet, and then all of a sudden the tariff news, again, I don't know how he's not in jail other than the fact that he put people in place that won't prosecute him. So I don't know what his plan is after he's not president anymore. I would say that's a jailable offense. I made lots of posts about that. But anyway, it made a small bump up, but then now we're on the way back down into another dip. So my question when people are like buy the dip is, will society be able to survive the dip? Because as jobs start to be lost, businesses go under, more people start filing unemployment. Can you survive that and still be able to invest? I don't know. And that's why people are also mad at him, because the ones that tend to survive and make the most out of a recession are like those millionaires that are like, oh, I had this money on the side. Now that your business is going under, I'm going to buy your business. Now that you're foreclosing on your house, I'm going to buy your house as an investment property. And then as the economy gets better, now they have all those things. They have that business now that's doing well. They have those investment properties they can rent out. Those summer houses they bought, now they have those. So that's the chess game going on. And that's where it's not a chess game in the sense that I don't think he's playing the long game that well, but his decisions are helping the rich because they're able to just scoop shit up and have a day like this happen. Let's look at the Dow Jones. 6 month down. So there you go. And then last bit of the stock, and then we'll do box office because you guys know I like stock stuff. The broad stroke conversation of inheriting a terrible economy. When you look at it, though, it wasn't. We had, of course, the coughing phase, and then we came out of it. There was this period here that wasn't great. It was like a year period where things were really slow. And then as interest rates came down, as people started going back to in-person stuff, we were up. Things were going up. Things were going up. See? So this is what he inherited. Look at that. That is the terrible economy that was inherited. So that's all I'm saying at times is like, I when the Roman Reigns thing, other people, when they're like, like we were in such a terrible, like the world, like I'm like, but were we? Can you just look into it for like just 10 minutes? Just look at it for like 10 minutes. Just look at it for 10 minutes. So that's that. That's that. All right. So box office mojo. Hard to transition that one. Really hard. There's so many, and we talk all the time, a lot of us offline, about how to like make our YouTube channels better. And one of the things is really like niching down the content you put out. But it's so hard to niche down to specific things because there's so many interests that we all have. Like that rant about stock market. It's really tough. I would love to talk about that more. Really would. Really would. Okay, so here we are, Box Office Mojo. It is Saturday morning. I'm gonna go see Sinners at 12. I'm excited to see that. And when I go to the daily here, Sinners is not on the list for some reason. This is Thursday. I don't know why it's not on the list. But if I go here, oh, they changed. They changed. Is it new to that? Was it originally going to be? Because there was viewings on the 17th. So I wonder if they weren't getting enough viewings and they moved it to from Thursday to Friday. I don't think you can do that. But numbers have not come out yet. People are predicting the movie is gonna pull in like in the 50 range. I've not done predictions in a long time. We're gonna go over to the sheet, turn off the Marvel filter, and just go to all right. So Venom: The Last Dance opened up at 51. Joker opened up at 37. Gladiator 2, 55. Mufasa opened up at 35. That's crazy. That's crazy that Mufasa opened up at 35 but still pulled in 721. And I don't remember if we've talked about this before, but one of the things I've thought about for a while was, does it matter? Like, does the opening weekend necessarily matter anymore? Because you can have a movie open up terribly, and as people talk about it and as time goes on, it starts to get traction. There was an animated one. Oh man. What was Elemental, right? Yeah, Elemental was one, opened up at 29 million, ended up pulling 495. I feel like there's another one too. It was a kids movie and it was just like it wasn't hitting. And then all of a sudden it picked up speed. Make sure we're in order here. No, maybe it was Elemental. I thought it was something different. I don't know. For some reason I have the Trolls movie in my head, but I know it's not that one. Kung Fu Panda opened up at 58, ended up at 539. Oh, Inside Out 2. Oh, that one, no, that one came out strong. 154. Went to $1 billion. So it's possible. It's possible you have movies open up lower and then pick up steam. Mufasa is probably the craziest one on our list that we've talked about. But I think Sinners projection. I don't know. I feel like 50's a lot. Yeah, they're still saying 45 to 50. Targeting 45. They made 4.7 in previews. What is this Deadline article? Minecraft digs 44 third. Sinners opening to 40. Yeah. 40 is more believable if it gets a lot of push the next 2 days. But what was crazy, Ryan Coogler went to he went, Haley went. There's the big black guy, I forget his name. He's been in like things forever. They went to a viewing, I think in California. Um, I don't know how I would find this. I saw it on TikTok. Let me see if I can search for it. So one of the things is the film is being released in different formats. And he did this whole thing talking about the formats and like what he suggests you watch it in. Of course, he's like, if you just see it in general, you'd be fine. But one of the formats was like 77 millimeter. So 77 millimeter is only in a few spots. It's not something you can widely find in a theater. There's also like just being on film in general that you can't find in a lot of places. So he went to one of the theaters, I think it was in California, that was doing 77 millimeter. And they came in to like greet everybody before the movie opened up. And the theater was not full. It was not full. Granted, it's a Thursday. It wasn't looking great. So it's one of those that like the industry's pushing this movie. A lot of celebrities are posting how they went to go see it. Like LeBron James posted he went to go see it. Spike Lee posted about it. Charlemagne the God posted about it. So everybody's I'm talking about it. I'm going to see it. Like a lot of us are trying our best to push this movie. I don't know if it's going to happen though in the first weekend. So maybe there's a chance. Maybe there's a chance that as time goes on, it gets more traction, it blows up. But I think this is one of those movies that, potentially it's only the hardcore film people that are like down to see it. / I'm really trying to support a black director doing a black movie. Like we still need casuals to go. Going back to Fantastic Four, you still need casuals. You still need that group of people that's like, hey, let's just go to the movie theaters and see what's playing. And then they're there or they're on their app and they're like, oh, Michael B. Jordan movie, let's go see that. Like you still need those people to go. So one of the things I probably should do, because this is a horror movie, I should probably start tracking genres on here so I can easily say like, oh, versus horror movies in the last X amount of years, it did this, or versus action, kid movie, comedy, Maybe we should start adding that on here. It's gonna be a lot of work. It's gonna be a lot of work. But the estimated budget on that movie was 90. Tony, you actually were talking to me about that the other day when it comes to the rule of two. They've been doing a lot of promo on this movie. I'm willing to bet that this one is over double the budget. To have them flying all over the place, do multiple premieres, multiple countries. They're really pushing this movie. So we'll see. But I think if it makes the 50, take that as a win. If I'm gonna take a guess, if I was a betting man, I haven't done predictions in a long time. If I'm a betting man, going by the Price is Right rules, I'm going 35. I'm gonna predict 35 mil. Even though they're all saying it's looking like 40, I'm going with a margin of they're really pushing this movie. So they might be like inflating things. I'm going to go with 35. But I think it makes its money back. I will say that. I think over the run of its career, I think it breaks even. I think it breaks even. This is one of the stronger promoted films I've seen in years. Yes, and it's one of the stronger promoted films that's not like a franchise or a legacy film or anything. Like, it's coming out of nowhere. Ultra, you're all about that primitive war movie, man. You're all about that movie. Because I think too, like, you can't hate Michael B. Jordan. You can't hate Ryan Coogler. Like, there was somebody I used to work with, and I'll say it. I used to work. I had a part-time job at Best Buy, and I was talking to one of my coworkers, and somehow, Will Smith came up, and my friend was like, "You know what's crazy?" He's like, "That girl over there who works here doesn't like Will Smith," and I was like, "All right, that's fine. Like, I guess that's her opinion. Does she not like music or something?" Or like his music. And he was like, no. I'm not saying she's not like a fan of Will Smith. She actually thinks like he's just sucks. Like, she doesn't think he's good at anything. And I was like, is she racist? Like, you can't, I feel like that's an unwritten rule. Like, you don't shit on Will Smith like that. And then I went over there, and I'd never really talked to her at all. But I was like, hey, random question. I was like, do you like Will Smith? She was like, no. And I was like, all right. I don't know. Okay. And just walked away. I was like, that's weird. You have to be racist, right? To not like Will Smith. You could say him slapping Chris Rock was like, oh, like, I can't believe he would do that. So unprofessional. Like, you could say that, but like, to generally not like Will Smith, I feel like you might be racist. So I feel like you can't not like Ryan Coogler for everything he's done. And you can't not like Michael B. Jordan. And if you don't like them, you just might be racist. And I think we all want them to win. And we're all pushing them. So that's why we are all talking about this movie and trying to get people to see this movie. I still will maintain it should have been a at-home release with limited theater run. I will continue to say that. Because, like comic books, theaters are dying. Can't stop it. Can't stop, won't stop. How did Abigail do? Let's look up Abigail. $42 worldwide at the end of the day. 10 opening, 25 domestic. Who was in it? Was this the no. What's the one that had what's her face, the blonde, Sydney Sweeney? What was that one? The nun? No. It had something to do with her being a nun. New segment, you might just be racist. Legacy said Sinners was amazing. Legacy in the house, good to see you. Yeah, I can't wait to see it today. I'm still very upset. Not at you. I'm still upset at the fact that people in their reviews are saying what the evil is in the town. Like, they're saying that in their reviews. And Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan were like, don't say anything about the movie. Don't tell people what the movie's about. Just go see it. And like I said, I was in the DMs of another podcast about it, and they were like, "Oh, it's in all the marketing." And I was like, "It's not in the marketing. It's literally just people it's all these companies dropping reviews talking about what the evil is." And a friend of mine actually posted it was the best blank movie, like not horror movie, but like specifically what kind of horror. It was a blank that kind of movie she's seen in a long time. And I was gonna blow up her spot, and I didn't. I was just like, I can't stop it now. I can't stop it. But I think people are ruining it. I think they're only hurting its chances by saying what kind of movie it is. So Tony says, I think it will do a little bit better than Abigail, maybe 45 at the end of the day. Wait, 45 total? Wait, I thought you said it was going to make its money back, didn't you? It will definitely break even, yeah. So do you mean 45 opening weekend is your suggestion or prediction? I'm going 35. Sorry, I was just checking something. Yo, I'm telling you, people don't like that Fantastic Four take. They do not like that Fantastic Four take. I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to tell anybody anymore. Like, I know that my takes at times can be quote unquote idiotic. No. I was saying that the prediction on the street is 40 mil to like between 40 and 50 opening weekends. The prediction 90 is the budget. 90 was the budget. Proof that not everyone should have access to the internet. Takes like this are why I will never be against gatekeeping. If Fantastic Four, if they were that cool, if they were that fun, if they were like that interesting, we wouldn't be in a spot now where they have to reboot it yet again to try to garner interest. They wouldn't be peg warming every time they do a release at stores. The Marvel Legend figures. Nobody's like clamoring for Mondo Fantastic Four. Nobody's clamoring for Super 7 Fantastic Four figures, Hasbro Marvel Legend figure. Like nobody cares about Fantastic Four. Nobody cares except the niche hardcore people that read comic books. Reed has done interesting things in the books. Cool story. Cool story, bro. Nobody cares. This movie is their attempt to get us to care. I wish them luck. I hope I end up being wrong. At the moment, nobody gives a shit. So, is what it is. Is what it is. It gives me more things to talk about, so I'm fine with it. Tony said, as far as Sinners go, yeah, it'll make money back then, maybe 10% over. It's a film I'd buy on physical media for sure, though. Yeah. Yes. I mean, same conversation here, right? Unless you have casuals that are like crazy about something, it's not going to do well. Fantastic Four has no casual appeal. Right now with Sinners, for Sinners to be a win, it needs casual appeal. Casuals need to go see the movie. They help out a movie's success. Look at a movie. I'm gonna bring it up right now. Where are you? And then I gotta go. Here we go. Make sure you guys hit the like button, by the way. I haven't said that. And make sure the bell is hit so you guys know when I go live at all these random times, because we are going live multiple times a week now. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire opened up at 45, and it ended. You're writing a review right now. I love that. Don't say what kind of horror movie it is. Don't do it. So Frozen Empire ended up making, at the end of the day, 201 on a budget of 100. It just made it. It just made it. The only reason Ghostbusters did anywhere near as good as it did was the amount of fans, the amount of hardcore fans that saw the movie over and over and over and over and held events. The Ghostbuster fan base did more marketing for this movie than Ghost Corps did. Holding events at theaters, bringing ectos to theaters to do events, doing 3-day events. We're bringing an ecto Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I saw it 3 times yesterday. I saw it 2 times today. Seeing it 4 times tomorrow. Tony said he saw it 6 times. Like, that is why this movie barely made it. Barely made it. Because the hardcores were that hardcore about it. But now if you take them out of the equation and we factor in just casuals going to see this movie, it would have bombed. It would have bombed. They held this shit up like you wouldn't believe as a Ghostbusters fan. It's the truth. It's the truth. I went to go see Frozen Empire on when was that? That was a Thursday morning or Friday or something like that. I wore my flight suit. It was me and like 2 people in the theater. At like the biggest theater in Boston, popularity wise. And the argument cannot be made that it's because I went in the morning. Because I normally see my movies like first thing in the morning. And I'm usually not the only person there. There's usually a decent amount of people there. It's not full. I hate going when it's a full theater. But it's usually a good turnout. It's usually me and the old people. And other movie heads. Yeah, I have my suit and pack on every time. There you go. I didn't know you were a Ghostbuster fan too. There you go. So yeah. You need casuals. And I feel like Sinners is not winning over enough casual appeal. But I hope that it rolls. Transformers 1. Oh, wait, yeah. How did Transformers 1 open up? How did that movie open up? Transformers 1 opened up at 24, ended at 128. Budget of 75. So that one, slow open, it rolled, it didn't hit profitability. I feel like it's loved, but that's all hardcores. I don't think a lot of casuals went to go check out the movie. I think people are so burnt out over Michael Bay and all that stuff. They're just not. Yeah. Yeah. All right, I got a jet, guys. This was fun. We went from Fantastic Four to Roman Reigns / Trump to box office to the stock market to box office. We went on quite a ride this morning. This was a fun episode. I love it. It's not what you know. It's what you can prove. Always remember. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend. It is Easter weekend. I didn't even realize that was this weekend, to be honest. The sun's out here in Boston somewhat. And I'm going to go see Sinners in another hour. So I'm pretty excited for that. Make sure you guys go see Sinners if you can. Support non-franchise movies. But if you just want to wait till it's on digital, I understand. I have a bias. HeyArcher Live weekly. somewhat daily, 4 times a week. We show up when we show up, so that you want to make sure you hit the bell so you're notified every time we go live. I plan on going live again on Tuesday, potentially. I don't think I'm going to do a Monday, so probably Tuesday, but I'll let you guys know via Nerd Affiliated on Instagram. Like, comment, subscribe, support one another, and I'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. What's up, Louie? Peace. I'm out of here.
Jesus. Specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, beer.
Yeah, come on, push a button. Push the goddamn button.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.